Hi all, I am Amrita Patil and welcome to the Java sessions. Today we are going to see what is exception handling. Okay. In the earlier video we have seen what is the exception in Java. Now we will discuss what are the different ways to handle that exception or how we can handle the exceptions which are occurred in the program. Okay, exception handling is nothing but a process where we can by which we can handle the exception. It is a powerful mechanism to handle the exception so that the normal flow of the application can be maintained. Exception is an event that disrupts the normal flow of the program. What is the exception? That is in the middle of the my flow, my sequence of code, there is something happens that will disrupt or uh, disrupt my normal flow of the application. It is the object which will be thrown at the runtime. Okay. The advantage of exception handling is to maintain the normal flow of the application. Okay. If suppose in my code I am having a multiple statements and in the 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, after the statement 4 exception occurred, okay, then my the remaining statements 5, 6, and 7 will not be executed as there is an exception occurred. Until and unless I am handling this exception, I cannot resume the code and I can execute my statement 5, 6, and 7. If I am doing the exception handling, then I can guarantee that the statement 5, 6, and 7 will be executed, okay, properly. Okay. So now what is the mechanism of error handling or exception handling? So first thing, identify where the exception can occur, that is hit that point where the exception can occur. Next, the inform exception is occurred, that is I'm throwing that exception, right? Okay. How can the developer know that where the exception is occurred? Okay, so I need to throw that exception. Okay, then receive the error information that if someone is throwing the ball, I need to catch them, right? So if I'm throwing an exception, I need to catch that, and I have to take the preventive measures, or I at least I need to prompt the user that why it happened. Okay, take the corrective action, that means handle the exception. So this is the mechanism how the exception will be handled. In the exception handling, we are going to handle the exceptions by using these keywords: try, catch, finally, throw, and throws. Okay, we'll see one by one. Okay, what is the try block? It is a block where I can have the exception. It is a starting point of the exception handling. It is a block where an exception may occur. All the code inside the try block is monitored, okay, so that I can get to know where the exact exception will occur. Okay, if the exception occur, then the block must be followed with the catch block or the finally block. Okay, I need to take a preventive measures, right? If the exception occurred, for that I need to have the catch and finally block. Okay, single try block cannot be exist in your code. It should be either followed by the catch or the finally. Okay, so what is the syntax? I need to put my code, okay, in try block. I will give simply try and brackets, and I need to put my code in that block. Okay, next is the catch block. What is catch block? Catch block is it will handle the exception that are thrown within the try block. It can have the multiple catch blocks for the different type of exceptions. Okay, I can I can catch multiple exceptions here. After one catch statement, other can be bypassed. Okay, in my catch block I can have the multiple catch block. If my exception is catch in first block only, the next catch will be bypass. If in my first catch it is not processed, then I will go for the second catch or the third. Okay, and the further will be bypass. Different type of exceptions can be evaluated in the order. Okay, in the catch block also you need to maintain a order. Okay, the precedence is there, you need to take care of that. Contain the code to manage to respond the exception. Okay, what I can how I can put the catch block, catch the exception type, and I can handle that exception. Okay, I can log that, I can display the error message like that one. Okay, the next is finally block. Okay, it is optional and it follows by the try and catch. Okay, it is not necessary, it is not mandatory to have the finally block, but it is good if you are doing some resource management and all, then you can put that in the finally block. Finally block is where you can do your cleanup operations such as closing the file or releasing the resources like that one. Okay, if you are giving the finally block, it will be compulsorily executed whether or not you are having the exception, okay, or not. Okay, if exception is occurred, then also finally block will execute. If the exception is not occurred, then also your finally block will be executed. How you will put finally? Okay, in the in the curly brackets, you will write the code which you want to execute compulsory. Okay, and then the next keyword is a throw. Throw, that means I'm throwing something, or in this case, I'm throwing an exception explicitly. If I want to throw, that is, if I intentionally, normally in normal cases, I can have this try and catch block, the exception will be handled. But intentionally, if suppose a user is doing something wrong, which is not the syntactically wrong in case of Java, but I need to handle that exception. Okay, so then in that case, I will use the throw. Okay, which will provide the control over the type of exception and the error message. You can create your own custom exceptions or you can throw the built-in exception. If I'm giving, if I want to take a input from the user as a name and user is giving some ABC or XYZ, I don't want that name. Okay, so what I will do, I will throw an exception that is something, the custom exception, name format exception, like that one. I can have the custom exception. Okay, what is the syntax? Suppose if condition, that is if user is giving, suppose in the name is equal to ABC or XYZ, then I will throw the custom exception. This is the custom exception, like that one. Okay, now throws. Throws is that like throws, it is used in a method declaration to specify that the method may throw certain type of exceptions. Okay, so in the method signature only, I will put that it will throw some IO exception or arithmetic exception or SQL exception. Okay, like that one. So at the design level also, you can um, assume what type of error that can throw and you can put it in the methods declaration. Okay, it will inform the caller of the method that they should handle or propagate those exceptions. Declaring the method is not responsible. Declaring method is not responsible for handling, but the implementing or it's merely indicate that it can throw them. Okay, void, public void sum method throws some exception. Okay, so whatever the code, it will throw the exception, so I need to put in my method signature. Okay, so this is the throws. Okay, what, how the flow is happened? Suppose I'm having a try block. Okay, I'm having a catch block and I'm having a finally block. In the try block, if suppose an exception occurred, then it will be in the catch block. Okay, after the catch, it will be in finally block. But if there is nothing, no exception occurred, then it will directly go in the finally block, right? So this is the flow. There are some points which you should remember, okay, while you are doing the exception handling. Okay, evaluation order of the catch block. You can give the multiple catch block in the after the try block, but the evaluation order should be maintained. If you are throwing some exception and in catch, if you want to catch the multiple exception, IO exception also and SQL exception or the normal exception, then you should maintain a proper evaluation order while catching that exception. Be cautious for the runtime exception, right? Use finally block for the resource management. If you are handling some resources in your code, then you should use the finally block. Provide the meaningful messages when you are throwing some exceptions so that the developer can get that message easily while debugging. Avoid the excess use of checked exception. Okay, avoid the empty catch blocks. Okay, you are not catching you are catching the exception but you are putting it empty, then avoid that scenario. Okay, some message should be given to the developer or the user. Okay, that this exception is occurred. Use the specific exception types in the throws. Okay, if the exception is throws in the try block and it is not caught by any catch block, the program will be clashed with an error message, right? Okay, so what is the nested try block? If multiple try catch blocks are there inside one try block, then it is called as the nested block. Okay, if suppose in this case try block is there, and in that I am having again try catch and finally. Okay, so this is the inner one. Okay, for the outer I can continue. In this inner try also I can have inner blocks. Okay, so that is the nested try blocks. Occurs when you have the specific exception handling needs to be at the broader exception handling context. Okay, so let's go to the program where I can show you what is the try catch block. Okay, so this is my class. In my main I'm having a result variable where I'm calling the divide method. Okay, I'm giving the dividend as a 0, divisor as a 0, which will throw the arithmetic exception. Okay, how I can code this? Okay, so in this at this point line number 6 I can have the exception, so I will put that in the try catch. Okay, what the possible exceptions I can have? Yes, in this case I know that it will throw the arithmetic exception. I need to arithmetic exception. If I'm not giving this catch exception, uh, okay, this will run fine. if i want if I want to add some other exception, so this is the multiple catch blocks and this is the order. So I cannot do like here the exception and here the arithmetic exception. So I cannot do this. The compiler will complain that the evaluation method I need to or maintain. Okay, so first I need to the lower precedence and then higher precedence. Okay, so this is the finally after a try catch block I am having finally, which will be compulsorily executed, but it is a optional one. Okay, now I am having a static method divide. Okay, I'm having the dividend and the divisor which will throws the arithmetic exception. Okay, so this is the throws. Throws is always be in the method signature. Okay, this is the it will throw the arithmetic exception. Now I'm for the throw I'm giving a particular condition. If divisor is 0, then it will throw this exception. Okay, and in the exception I need to give a particular message so that the user will get to know what is the problem. Okay, yes. So as I'm giving the divisor 0, so it will throw the arithmetic exception. Division by the 0 is not allowed. And as I said, finally block is compulsory executed. So whether the exception is occurred or not, it will always be there. So if suppose I'm changing the divisor here and again I'm running the this, okay, so it is printing me the result, no exception, but still my finally block will execute, right? Okay, so let's check. Okay, what is the primarily use of try block? To define exception, to catch and handle. Okay, so what is this? Yes, option B, to catch and handle the exception. In second question, in try catch finally block, which part is optional? Okay, which part is optional? Finally, yes. We have also seen that demo in the demo also. What does the throw keyword do? It throw the custom exception. It will define a new. It catches an exception. It suppresses. What is will do the throw? Yes, it will throw a custom exception. What does the throw keyword will indicate in the method declaration? It specifies the return type of the method. It declares the method that will throw the exception. It define the method parameter or it will use for the loop control. What is the correct option? Yes, correct option is B. It declares the method that may throw the exception. Okay, the last one. If an exception is thrown in the try block and not caught in the any catch block, what will happen? What will happen? Yes, the program will crashes and an error message is displayed. Option B. Okay, so these are some short answer questions. Try to recall. We have already discussed them. Try to answer this. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Happy learning.